Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel and to this video where I will be talking about 7 witchy things you can do while stuck at home in quarantine. So I know a lot of people will be struggling to find things to do at this time as the lockdown here in the UK continues. We're into week 2 of it, I believe, at this point, and we might be running out of things to do, but that's fine and understandable, and hopefully this video will help to reawaken some ideas in your mind of things that you might not have thought of things that you can continue to do even while stuck at home. So the first one, of course, is catch up on reading and use this time to really hone your knowledge of what you know and cement your witchy knowledge, and things to do with crystals, herbs, oils, different spells. Really use this time to try to memorise and get those things drilled into your head, because in future times when you want to do spells, it will always be really helpful to just be able to know instantly what you're looking for to use for your spell. So that's the kind of thing that I'm doing at the moment, trying to memorise all the different magical properties of things, because that's something that I've basically been procrastinating for years, like to actually try and memorise these things, not just knowing them or having the guidebook, but to actually have a comprehensive knowledge in my head. It's something that I'm still working on, and reading books that are witchy can help to put you into that headspace and again just cement your knowledge of what you already know or what you might not know yet. So one book that I have yet to read that I have recently purchased is the illustrated Herbiary by Maya Toll, Guidance and Rituals from 36 Bewitching Botanicals. So very much looking forward to reading that. It has different plants and the kind of magical properties of each one, rituals that you can do, just different ways of interpreting these plants and what their uses can be. So for instance, lavender is calming, helps with sleep, all different kinds of things like that. So that's something that I'm finding really interesting at the minute, and yeah, it's quite an obvious point, I suppose, catching up on reading. Everyone's kind of talking about it already, but it's definitely worth putting in this video, I think. So number 2 is spend time with pets. If you're lucky enough to have a pet or two, or just have any kind of access to animals outside, obviously there's birds, so you can get like bird feeders and stuff, put them up and just watch the birds, or just commune with your pets. Because I mean, although at this time it's very apparent and in the forefront of our mind that we can't see friends and family that easily, we may want to FaceTime them and call them and stuff like that, which obviously is great and I would recommend doing as well. But obviously everyone is very much aware of the current crisis, and so talking to those kinds of people might actually heighten your anxiety, because it's just reminding you of the current human situation and human troubles, as it were. And the good thing about spending time with your pets or spending time with animals is they're all very blissfully unaware of what is happening at the minute. So spending time with pets and animals can really help to ground you and reassure you and remind you that the world is continuing despite this crisis. And as witches, we tend to naturally be very good at empathizing with animals and creatures in the natural world anyway. So if you want to practice, I don't know, like some form of telepathy with your animals or pets, just try and bond with them on a deeper level and see what comes of that. That can be really beautiful. And of course, if you have pets and you're a witch, you might kind of feel like they're your familiar, call them your familiar. So bond with your familiar, bond with your pets. And yeah, because obviously we can't talk to humans that much at the minute, fellow humans. It's nice to just spend some quality time with our animals and re-strengthen that connection that we have in our lives and really be grateful for that aspect of things. Point number 3 is to make some kind of healing spell jar or spell bag. Now, as witches, we have the gift to initiate healing in the world, create things that help ourselves and others to feel safe and protected against negative energies. So we can really make the most of this time and use it to create little magical presents for ourselves and loved ones. This is obviously a really helpful thing to do on top of just following the standard government advice of social distancing, washing your hands and things like that. It can really help to make you feel safe and like you're taking action against this virus on a kind of metaphysical level. If you've exhausted all the physical avenues of things you can do to keep yourself safe, staying at home, washing your hands, but you still feel a bit anxious and a bit at risk, just in your mind, it can really help to do something that can give you that heightened level of protection, and especially if it involves crystals that reassure you and ground you, such as rose quartz or black tourmaline, it can really help. So for me personally, I am actually wearing a little spell jar that I've made. Hopefully you can see that now. And it's got lavender leaves, sage leaves, pink Himalayan salt, rose quartz and black tourmaline, as I said, eucalyptus oil, peppermint oil, and it just kind of sits around my neck and makes me feel safe and protected over my heart center as I go about my day. And it was just really fun to put all these different ingredients into this little jar necklace of things that just resonate with healing, clearing, cleansing, reassuring, all of that good stuff. So not only am I taking action in a physical sense to protect myself, but also on a metaphysical sense as well. And as I said, it's an especially lovely thing to give to somebody that you love. So I also made a pretty much identical one for my boyfriend, and it's just really reassuring for people to receive things like that from you. And as witches, we have the talents to be able to do these things. The fourth witchy thing you can do when stuck in quarantine is reorganise your garden. So in my past recent videos, I talked about the spring equinox, the new moon, Aries energy, and the theme that really was common through all of them is me talking about planting seeds and setting new intentions, as that is very much the energy around at this time for so many different reasons. So now would basically be the ideal time to, as I said, plant seeds in your garden, plant new flowers, new herbs that you want to use for future. Now would be a really great time to do that. And if you are lucky enough to have access to a garden space, you can do that and still feel connected to nature and to the outside and to your witchy spiritual self, even without leaving your property. Plus, if you are the kind of witch who subscribes to the idea of different nature spirits and fairies, like I myself do, a really fun thing can be to try to create a little kind of fairy garden within your garden. So I bought a little fairy house recently that is now in my flower bed, and I'm thinking of adding more little fairy bits of furniture to it as well, or even making some from like the twigs and leaves lying around, making perhaps a little fairy ring out of stones and things like that that can just be really cute, and stuff that I've not really done before because I never had a reason to. And this time that we're all in lockdown is a great time to do things that we may have wanted to do but obviously never found the motivation to do. So that is one of those things for me, and it really helps to raise my spirits, lift them, and just keeping in touch with the unseen world, the metaphysical world, and that kind of whole witchy vibe. Number 5 is if you are the kind of witch who subscribes to the idea of deities, working with deities either as metaphysical beings that really exist on some plane of existence, or just archetypal thought forms that you can call upon in your subconscious mind. If you subscribe to the idea of deity in any kind of way, a really fun thing can be to make art for your deities, especially if they're associated with healing, energies that can be very beneficial for us at the minute. Now would be a really great time to show your devotion to that deity or archetype by making some art for them. And I've done that myself. So recently I felt very called to the energies of Sekhmet, the Egyptian lioness goddess of plague but also healing. And so I've made a little, it isn't finished yet, but I've made a little 3D clay sculpture here, and eventually I'm hoping to put this on my altar. So as you can see, I've just got the lioness head so far, but I'm planning to do the human body at the bottom here, the neck and shoulders, and her headdress. And I'm planning to use like golds, reds, and obviously black to represent this goddess, because those are the colours that she is associated with. And doing this has been really fun for me. It does provide a lot of reassurance, just to feel that you're connecting on a deeper level with the deities that you resonate with, and that resonates with healing as well. And it's just another thing to help you feel as protected as you possibly can be at this time that is worrying and stressful for a lot of us. Point number 6 is an option for if you don't feel very artistically gifted with your hands. If you don't like the idea of drawing, painting or sculpting like what I've done, you can just create different types of art. So you can write a poem, write a song, do music, you can even do some devotional dancing for them, put on some music that reminds you of that deity and that energy, and just feel your body move, let go, and just devote your movements to your deity. And especially if it's a deity of healing, that is bonus points. And yeah, I know I've mentioned deity a lot, but if you're the kind of witch who doesn't subscribe to any higher power or deity in any sense, you can still make art and write a poem about perhaps all the different meanings for all the different herbs and crystals out there. Like, you can write a humorous poem so that you can recite it and remember the meanings of everything. Yeah, just solidifying your witchy knowledge. You can use art to really help and do that, and help you to learn things quicker. If you're kind of a new baby witch like me and you're still learning things, that can be a really fun thing to do. So the reason why I suggest art so much is because for me it links very seamlessly into spiritual things. The art of creation, just like, again, if you subscribe to the idea of deity, the mother goddess creating the world with the god as well, that act of creation, it's very spiritual, very primal and deep for us. So to link it with your spiritual practice, I think, is amazing, and it works very well for myself and a lot of people. So that is why I suggest the art approach if you want to do something witchy or connecting with your deities. Just honing your knowledge and delving deeper into your connection to the world around you at this time, using art can be such a powerful way to do that. So point number 7, the last point that you can do that is witchy during your time of quarantine and lockdown, is utilise the online world. So a lot of us are already doing this in different areas of our lives. Working from home, we might be working online more versus in person, and there's just a lot of people having to adjust their everyday needs and routine to online, so online shopping, stuff like that. But basically what I'm trying to say is use that for your witchcraft and your witchy kind of practice. So for me, joining online communities of pagans and witches can be so helpful, really help you to feel less lonely. So for instance, you can join Facebook groups that I myself have done and I'm very active in, and just participate in the discussions on there and start your own discussions about how you may be feeling at this time, and sharing ideas with the group and getting feedback. And it can help with the loneliness that we're all feeling at this time, it can help with the boredom, and it can help you to feel connected to the wider sphere of pagans and witches who are also going through similar things. So it can help you feel way less lonely and way more motivated to do the kind of witchy practices that you may still be forgetting about, and just have encouragement and support from other people. And this idea also links really well to the ideas that I linked before, because if you do make any art for your deities or anything really that has a witchy focus, if you feel comfortable sharing it, you can share it to the group, show everyone pictures, and yeah, just get feedback on it and validation for the things that you're doing, which feels amazing. You can talk about spell ideas as well, share like recipes for kitchen witchery if you're the kind who engages in stuff like that. And yeah, it's just a great big melting pot or cauldron of different witchy ideas that you can share and be a part of. And as I said, just feel connected during this time where we're all literally having to isolate and feel very isolated. And instead of sinking into this depression of loneliness and not really doing anything, we can have motivation to be connected to other people and have other people kind of cheer us on in continuing our spiritual life and our witchy practices that we know and love. And yeah, for me that's been so beneficial for my mental health, and I would recommend it to literally anyone on any kind of spiritual path, to be honest, because it's quite hard to find people who are spiritual nowadays anyway, and just being online, there is so much scope for connections to be made that can be so helpful to you. So that's basically all I wanted to say in this video. I hope you enjoyed my 7 things that you can do to be witchy during this time of quarantine and lockdown. And my next video will most likely be next week on April the 7th. We have the full moon, the pink full moon in April, and I'll be talking about that again, what full moons mean in general and what that moon specifically will mean for us. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and please leave a comment down below of what you are doing to help keep up your witchy practice during this time. I'd love to hear any other ideas and get a discussion going down in the comments. That would be really fun. Make sure you like the video and subscribe if you liked it, and hopefully see you all again soon.